Yeah, so my dad, Dennis McKinnon Sr., I think the reason why he won this award and why he's deserving for it is because of his passion. And it's not just, passion for the everyday, but it's passion for his community and his family. PSC, is a large portion of that. So that's where he started his education here in Escambia County. And if you listen to him, his grades and his academics weren't as stellar as maybe they could have been, but he certainly had a good time at PJC at the time. So,
well, I've known Dennis McKinnon for more than 30 years, probably more than that, but if I told you how long, you'd know how old I am. And I got to know Dennis in banking. Dennis was someone I always looked up to and followed what Dennis did in banking. And actually, when I first met Dennis, I thought, wow, I want to be just like Dennis.
It's pretty well known within the family, but not outside, is that he can take the most mundane trip or thing that we do and turn it into a real adventure. And typically not a great adventure. Well, it's always a good adventure. The memories are always great. But everything we do seems to have some excitement for the bad maybe in it. Whether it's a boat flooding, 100 miles out in the Gulf of Mexico, or whether it's rock climbing and, rocks coming down and us falling and getting bruised up and banged up. He has the uncanny ability to turn anything into a real adventure.
Well, Dennis has a lot of great accomplishment. A highly decorated Marine Corps officer, 2 terms in Vietnam, Purple Heart. Dennis also wrote a children's color book that he published and provided free to every grade school in Escambia County that focused on the message and good behavior and growing up as a fine young boy or girl.
Was when he came to me and said, I'm retiring from banking and I think you would be a really good choice for this position. And they were going to have a community banking model, and he said, I think you would be a great person to succeed me in this. So he convinced me that maybe I should apply for this position. And what was really funny, I got all the way to the end and then he says, oh, and by the way, I'm not on the selection committee.
And I met Dennis mostly through the Pensacola Yacht Club. Dennis and I somewhat colluded together to create a 501c3 foundation. It's called the Satori Foundation. Satori is a Japanese word that means enlightenment, and that kind of stands for Dennis as well.
When I came on as regional president for Wachovia, Dennis stayed for 6 months. And I got to work side by side with Dennis. And the one thing that he reinforced with me that I still practice today is think of the person first. I always say to myself, what would Dennis do? And it's usually the right answer if I think about what would Dennis do.
The Dennis McKinnon I know is a great friend, the kind of friend that everybody would want to have. He's just a great guy.
That's my hope and desire, that I can be like him one day, and I think I've got a long way to go. He's got big shoes to fill, but I think that we really all, desire to be like him at some point in our lives.